Welcome to the Foster Your Passion podcast, where entrepreneurs, who are mostly women, share their passions, their lessons, and leave you feeling uplifted, motivated, and possibly even inspired to go and foster your own passion. I'm your host, Haley Foster, and this is the Foster Your Passion podcast. Hello, and welcome to the Foster Your Passion podcast. I'm Haley Foster, your guest. I'm here today with the amazing wine sipping, social media slaying, podcast recording, did I say wine drinking, treadmill dancing, Britney Crosson. I'm so excited to record with you today. This is going to be fun.
Thank you, Haley. Wow, that was a hell of an intro. I like the fact that you said wine twice. I mean, come on.
Of course I said wine twice, because when you drink so much wine, you have to say wine
two
twice.
Glasses is better than one. Thank you for having me.
Exactly. Absolutely. It's my pleasure. We were actually just saying before we hit the record button that we should have done this at 5 o'clock so we can talk about what we're sipping on. But I said that it's a weekday and I'm trying to cut back before, bikini season here in New York. It's like I've got the wine belly. I don't know if that's a thing. Maybe it's just menopause. I don't know. But there's definitely something going on. I'm going to blame it on the wine. I think it also just helps me to think that, I've got to kind of cut back on one of the vices in my life. So I'm going to cut back on that one because I cannot get rid of the coffee. Otherwise, this podcast would just sound like this.
I love it.
Yes. Goodbye energy, actually. So Britney, we met on Clubhouse, which is where I meet most of my friends these days.
What are friends in real life? I don't even know.
How about you? I mean, my husband walked in on me in the bathroom the other day in a Clubhouse room. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm hanging out with my friends, honey." What do you mean?
I love it.
And he's like, "You really think that you're just hanging out with your friends, right?" I'm like, "I actually am hanging out with my friends."
Come on.
Yeah, this is what it looks like in 2021.
Yeah. I mean, I think that Clubhouse, man, that's, it's an interesting animal, Clubhouse is, but the one really great thing I can say about it is that the people meeting such cool people.
Yeah, I completely agree. And they are, like, I was just in Monica and Talisha's room because it's like, I feel like my people follow all the same people. I feel like we kind of gravitate towards each other. I was in their room and I don't know. There's just something about the love on Clubhouse, which it does feel very authentic. Like I really I show up because like I want to be around them. Yeah, it is. It's super fun. Super fun. So I have a couple of questions for you, but let's do like a quick intro, who you are, what you do.
So I am Britney Crosson. I am the owner of Fun Love Media, where we really focus on social media management and content creation, specifically for social media, but also for email marketing for small businesses. And it's been, it's been a few years and it just kind of happened. I loved social media because for all my life, I've been a performer, a dancer, an actor. And so whenever I really got in the groove of social media, I was like, this is like amazing. Like you have this audience, people all over the world. I could just post some shit and they're like, there they are watching, for somebody that likes the spotlight, it was very exciting. So one thing led to another. And business owner friends started asking me to help them with their social media. A lot of people don't like it. A lot of business owners don't want to mess with it. They're busy doing the business and trying to make money. And so they're like, please help me. I hate this. I don't know what to do. And so one thing led to another, and I was starting that kind of work and formed a company out of it. And so that's my main gig. And then not long ago, I guess, it's been a year and a half ago, I started my podcast, the Social Sunshine Podcast, which is also about the same thing, talking about social media marketing for small businesses, for entrepreneurs, and just trying to have fun with it, right? To remind people, like, let's create some fun stuff or some interesting things. It doesn't have to be dancing on a treadmill. It can be whatever it is, but like just encouraging people to use social media for good and to really help meet new people, grow your business and all of that. So that's what I spend my professional time doing. And most recently, actually, I did start my membership, which if God, anybody out there that's thinking about starting a community, and it's really tugging at your heart, I encourage you to. This community that I started, when was this? This was okay. I'm losing track. Where are we? What day? This was. I mean, like, what's happening?
It's
This
June.
was
It's
this
June.
was like August ish, I think, of 2020, right in the middle of the craziness of 2020. I launched this membership because I don't know, just something I didn't need it. I have my company. I had that work. But for some reason, something in me was just like wanting to do this. Like I had this big vision basically for it. I'm sure a lot of people can relate. And I thought, God, I really know that I can just like help so many people at once this way, right? Instead of just individual client work. And it's been one of the coolest things I've ever done. Such a great group of people, so special. I mean, I love it. So I love what I do. That's what I do professionally because acting in Texas just doesn't pay the bills. Houston.
Awesome. Where in Texas are you?
Yeah.
Cool. Are you near Farmers Branch? Like, do you go pick up your wine? I'm always jealous
No,
when
it's
it's like,
so
you
well,
can pick
Texas
up
is
your
huge.
wine.
So that would probably be about a 4-hour drive.
I know. Oh, yeah, you're not driving to pick up your
But
wine 4 hours away. All right, so Brittany and I share a love of clean crafted wine, which I think is super fun to learn after you start stalking people on social media. I was like, oh my
right, it's
God, I'm
like
a scout
I
and
knew it.
cellar
See, I knew I
consultant
liked you,
too.
girl. Hey, why not, right? The wine thing is so fun. I mean, if you're going to add an extra stream of income to your life, why not let it be something that's like fun that you enjoy that you're going to buy anyway?
Exactly. And that was sort of that was the initial driving factor for me. So I'll quickly give you my story into the wine and then we can circle back around to you dancing on treadmills, but without the wine. She does not dance on
Not yet.
treadmills while drinking wine. So public service announcement. Um, so I went to a wine tasting and it was the end of the pandemic. It was, well, not, I shouldn't say, we're still in the pandemic. It was June. People were starting to resurface after, the winter apocalypse of being, stuck in your house. And someone put it out there and said, oh, so I'm actually coming
Yeah.
up on my anniversary, come to think of it. It was end of June. And they were like, oh, it's good for you or better for you wine. And I was like, okay, I work out every day. I eat healthy. Wine is my vice. Like,
Right.
really, it must taste like shit. So I went thinking in the back of my head, I don't even know why, because I eat healthy and everything I eat is delicious. So I don't know why I thought wine that was healthy would not taste good. But in my head, that's what I was thinking. And so I went to this tasting and it was like my mask was off. I was around other humans. I was
Yeah.
like, all right, the wine is amazing. But then I was like, maybe it's because it's like my first time
Right.
out in like 7 months. So, so I'm like, all right, let me order 6 bottles, ship them home, see what my husband thinks, because he's a bit of a wine snob. He got me to be a bigger wine snob than I already was. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna ship some home. And every time I opened up another bottle, I was like, wow, this is amazing. This is delicious. And so I called up my consultant and I was like, okay, this will be the easiest person you ever sign up. How do I do this? And I said to my husband, I was like, listen, I can
There you
sell
go.
this and it'll just pay for our wine habit. So 15 team
Awesome.
members later, I now I'm like, I'm going to Mexico.
Okay.
I won the trip. I
Congratulations.
like my team. Yeah, my team has like sold over $100,000 worth of wine in less than a year. Like super, and I'm just loving it. It's like it's infectious. Like I just start talking about it everywhere, and then people are like, "What's
Yes.
this wine you're talking about?" And I guess like I was telling the story the other day. Someone once asked me about isogenics, and no, I shouldn't even name it. But anyway, bleep out the name of the name I just named. So someone asked me about this other product that I had signed up for, and they asked me how it was, and I was like, it's okay. And she was like, well, you're not a very good sales rep for it. And I was like,
Same.
I can't
Same.
sell you something I don't
Same.
love. I'm so honest. And so she came to me when I started, she saw the wine stuff and she's like, all right, how's the
Okay.
wine? I'm like, oh my God, it's amazing. She's like, okay, so I know that you're not lying here because you hated the other stuff and you love this stuff. So she became a client. So anyway, so that's how
That's
I got
awesome.
into
Yeah.
it, but
Well,
I would love to hear
let's
your
see. It's been
story.
a while since we first joined. Let's see. It was fall, late fall maybe of 2019. And really it's a no-brainer for us. So we're also are not like difficult people to talk into joining the situation. My friend was joining and all these things, but really we were kind of glorified customers for a while, just enjoying the wine because we were just not in a position to, I say we because I'm talking about my husband Ryan and I, because he's kind of not kind of, he's definitely in the wine journey with me, but we weren't really in a position where we were interested in like being too aggressive, building a team. We were just kind of feeling things out. We had a lot of other stuff going on, blah, 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 right? But we knew no brainer, we're going to drink the wine. So of course we'll join. So we did that. And it's been such a cool adventure because the first, like right after I joined, they had the annual conference in Houston, right here where I am, which was, I was like, it's fate. Okay, let's do this. And of course, Robin from Peloton was there. And I was like, if Robin from Peloton is there, I'm going to be there. And it was exciting. Got to meet her and everything, which is a big deal to somebody like me. Peloton obsessed. And yeah, it's been a cool journey. I
That's
mean, I
awesome.
always tell people, and basically to fast forward now in more recent months, we structured our business with it so that way we could, have a team. And I think now we have 5 or 6 team members, and we're actually truly, doing it that way, instead of just being like these wine drinking, like just, customers. But I always like to tell people, I'm glad you brought this up because there's so many opportunities out there, right? For a side business, for an extra stream of income, for something part-time if you're a busy parent, like whatever it may be, right? All these different companies and products. And I've tried really hard to talk about this, whether it's on my Instagram or my show, about like, you know, choose wisely. Look, hey, we make mistakes. I'm like you. There was one that I did a long time ago before I even had my company. Um that I tried and I was just like boring. Like like you're saying about the other one, if the product is not, I just didn't care. So that didn't last. So if anybody out there is thinking of starting something like this, definitely make sure it's something that you like are super interested in, because if you're not, you're just going to be like, and you'll
Yeah.
probably quit.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
speaking of, like, communities, the community, I don't know whose line you're in, but my upline and I like, she doesn't even make money off of me, I'm so far down below her, but I guess she started seeing I had 1 month where I think I sold, like, $14,000 worth of wine, and she was like, "What are you doing?" Like, I need to understand, like, how do you like, no one has ever sold that in my downline, so she and I like connected, loved each other. And she's out in San Diego, which is like right near where my brother is. Um, and so she was like, okay, we need to figure something out here. Like, I want to
Aw.
learn from you. I want my team to learn from you. So, but like just like the whole community, like jumping on some of those like video calls and meeting other wine people.
Yeah.
I feel like that community is a little similar to the community on Clubhouse. And so, like, it's, I show up and I'm like, oh, my friends are here. I know none of you, but I just feel like
Right,
we're
right. Yeah, yeah,
connected
I
in
agree.
some
I feel
deeper
like
way.
the first time I was around a kind of larger group of people that are with the wine company, I definitely looked around and was like, okay, okay, we can jive together. Like I'm feeling good feelings from you people. And I was right. There you're right. It's really
Yes.
cool. So yeah, I mean if anybody's thinking about doing something like that, definitely look at all aspects of it and dive in and enjoy it, right? And try to make it a cool fun part of your life, because if you're adding on an extra stream of income, or if it's like something that's part-time and you don't like quote unquote have to do it, why not make it enjoyable and fun? You know, that's the way I look at it.
Yeah, totally. Absolutely. I completely agree. And that it just
Exactly.
becomes
It's
something
not
that
a
you want to
chore.
do.
Right.
It doesn't, but exactly. It's just right. People are like, I did a wine tasting a couple of weeks ago, and the woman that was running, I was like, "Can you tell people what you really do?" And people are like, "This is not your full-time gig." I'm like, "No, this is my like fun side
Yep,
hustle.
I
I have
understand.
a different full-time gig." So yeah, it was super fun. So it kind of makes sense now that you're like actress,
Yeah.
um, turned businesswoman, turned social media guru. Um, how did the whole dancing on the treadmill thing
Okay.
start?
So let's see. I mean, I became a runner on a treadmill, and I know a lot of runners are not into treadmills and say how boring it is, but for me, it actually changed and saved my life in a way. What I mean is just like making it better. Um because I had a treadmill back in the day before Peloton was around, before Peloton had treadmills, before any of that. I We got a treadmill whenever I was pregnant with my son Rowdy, and because I knew that once I had him, I would want to exercise, but I also knew I wasn't gonna wanna go to a gym. I just knew myself, you know? Sometimes we just like, I knew some people will go to the gym. Me, I knew I wasn't gonna do it. So I knew if it was in the house, it was convenient, da, da, da. So, one thing leads to another, and I do that, become a runner. So I love, this part of my life. It's very, very important. It helped my mental health. It's a huge deal, right? So when you're on the treadmill, like if you're listening to good music, sometimes you kind of like, even somebody who wouldn't do something very daring, you might kind of bop along to the music and kind of jam out a little. And so I've always done that. And it really was whenever I got the new treadmill, and that was January of 2020. I was like, I know. I was like, this
Good
thing feels
timing.
good under the feet. Like this feels solid. It's totally different from a regular treadmill. And it honestly, one day I just decided to do it. Like literally the idea just popped in my mind to record it. Um and those early videos are so funny because they're so bad. I mean, compared to now, because I'm like, oh my God, you're going so slow. That's not hard at all, Brittany. Challenge yourself. But you gotta start somewhere. And I just decided to record it. And I started sharing with that community of people, like in the Facebook groups and stuff. And then everything started going down with the pandemic. And I was like, whoa, okay, what can I do to help? Because the performer in me wants to go out there and make somebody smile and make somebody laugh and do something fun like that. And so I just started sharing more and more and more treadmill dancing videos, or on the spin bike, or sometimes even dancing on the ground, believe it or not. And it just became this beautiful, fun, joy filled thing. And it had nothing to do with making any money. It was literally just something I felt called to do that was just like silly, crazy, out there, and super fun. And so many people would message, and say how much they love the videos. And I'd never experienced this before. I mean, some of the videos went viral on TikTok and then later on Instagram Reels, and I just had never experienced this before because I was always working on social media mostly for other people. My own social media was just like this fun little place where sometimes I would kind of dance around in my Instagram stories, of course, and we would have a good time, but I focused on my work. So these videos exploded, and I
Yeah.
just thought, this is hilarious. I am this 40-year-old woman dancing on this exercise equipment, and it's like the most exciting thing I've ever done in my life. And I always like to tell people, hoping that this encourages somebody, that it's interesting because all my life, ever since I was a child, all I dreamt of was performing in front of millions of people, making them laugh, making them smile. And as an actor in Texas, like I said, you don't really have the big opportunities you have other places usually. And my life just didn't pan out that way. I got married, and I went in a different direction, and I didn't move off to Los Angeles or New York to do that, what I thought. And so you feel sometimes like, oh, my life isn't going the way that I planned. But what's so cool is that I ended up performing in front of millions of people, and I still do all the time. It's just in a totally weird, out there way that I never would have imagined, that has also led to other opportunities. And so I like to say that for people to hear, because you can still get to that really awesome destination. It's just the path might be different than what you imagined, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. That's awesome. I'm super excited for you that,
Yeah.
just one little
And
funny
it's funny
thing
because it
led
also ended
to,
up helping me grow
you
my
know,
business because in the middle of all of this dancing all over the exercise equipment fun I was having, um, my husband lost his job in August of 2020. Thanks 2020. Like, all hell was like broke loose and everything went crazy in 2020, right? And but for a long time we had been wanting him to, he wasn't happy anymore in this industrial construction world. He's like leaving the house at 4:30. We're barely seeing him this whole life, right? For the whole time have known him for 20 something years. And we have been talking about, gosh, if he could just find something else to do where he could be more at home more often, like I already worked at home, all these things. And when this happened, he called me that day and I had already been doing the dancing and all the things and having fun with that. And he called me and he told me, okay, so this happened. And what do you think? I mean, tomorrow I can go out and start applying for more, new jobs, or is this our chance? And I was like, this is our chance for sure. And it was one of the scariest things ever because at that point, and this is just last August 2020, my company was still much smaller. It was part time because I was in charge of, being the parent that did all the kids stuff and taking the kids to school and activities and all that. And he was working a whole lot. And in a moment, like literally in a snap, we had to switch places. His income immediately stopped. So I was like, here we go. It's actually, well, and it's interesting.
strap it
Yeah,
on,
well, it's
honey. We are
interesting
in
because
for a
sometimes
ride.
so many of us talk about what we want and about what we're dreaming of. And then whenever you actually have the chance, unfortunately, I think a lot of people don't do it because it's scary. And I understand that because it is scary. I felt it, but we just said we have to do this. I knew my company could grow to be a multi-million-dollar
Yeah.
company, no problem. That was not a doubt, but I just had to actually do the work. And miss out on some of the parenting
Right.
things. So it's been an interesting journey, but making that swap and growing my business out of need, right? And him starting to figure out his own entrepreneurial journey. And then this dancing thing that was happening for me on social media actually started helping grow my business. And I was like, I can't even believe that my number one marketing tool is me dancing on a freaking treadmill. Like, this is hilarious and amazing all at the same time because I have clients that's how they found me. Like actual full on big clients. And they're like, I love your videos. I need your social media help. And I'm going, what? I mean, so you just never know what's going to happen, right?
That is awesome. So does he have any involvement in the
Yeah. Yeah.
business
Yeah. So he's really
with you?
discovered that he's really great at sales, which is not a surprise because of his personality. And he's a good old Southern Texas boy that likes to chat. Okay, so he's good at sales, and
Uh-huh.
so he's doing several things in sales. I mean, he's helping with the wine business with sales. He's doing sales for a company owned by his best friend. He's helped me with some things in my company as it's growing. Because as you probably know, when a company's growing, you have these weird phases where it's like, am I going to hire help or am I just going to be super busy for a little while? Which one? And you have to kind of like work through that. So he's been definitely helpful. And he's like, jumped in and with the kids and all that stuff. So it's been great. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome.
Thank
So
you.
excited for you. That's amazing. And in
Yeah.
in less than a year, you guys have just made, it's so amazing
Yep.
how this pandemic has just given us all a
Yep.
chance to
Yep.
reset, right? I feel like it was just such a necessary pause
Yeah.
that the world needed to take. In that sense,
Of
I know a
course.
lot
Of
of
course.
people lost loved ones and,
Yeah.
that whole side of it. Yeah, is awful. But I just think that for so many others, it was just such an opportunity to sit, to reflect
Yeah.
and be like, what do I want to do? You know, what's important? What are my values? Like, what's the legacy I want to
Right.
leave on this world? Like, because we all looked at it like we could be next. Like, I'm healthy, I'm 48. Like, but I think we all kind of went through this feeling
Yep.
of like,
For sure.
it could be anyone. It could really
Yeah,
be
it
anyone.
really
It's
is.
just it's so insane. But and I love
It
hearing the stories that came out of
Yeah,
it.
it's
Like
amazing, and
stories like this.
look, this is some shit you hear, like, when you're a kid in school and somebody comes to your school and they speak, to all of you middle schoolers or high schoolers, right? And they give you this speech about, like, tough times will make you stronger, and, look for the opportunities in life, and all, and you're like, "Okay, dude, whatever," like, rolling your eyes. And even as you get into adulthood, you hear people talk about these things. Maybe you go to a conference, or maybe you go and see Tony Robbins, or whatever, right? And you hear it, and you just can't quite make that connection until you live it, you know? And living it and going, "That was a really
Absolutely.
hard time, that because we chose to look at it as an opportunity and as a chance to do something really amazing and actually live the life that we want and not just dream about it, it all turned out beautifully, you know? It's amazing."
Mhm. Yeah. And that's the entrepreneurial way, right? Action. I always say that to people. Like you can think about it and you can dream about it and you can plan for it, but unless you
Mhm,
actually take the step forward and start
mhm.
doing the things that need to be done,
Yeah, I agree. I'm all
it's
about
not going to
action. I was
happen.
just talking to,
So good good.
um, one of my team members was it last night? Whenever it was, and I told her that, just like that. Because I was asking her to do something, and I was like, "Can you tell that I'm a done is better than perfect person? Because all before you came on board here, I did all these things, but they kind of now they need to be polished up a little bit." So sometimes you just have to dive in and start working,
Yeah.
and then make it look pretty in the process.
You and I, very similar similar conversation I had yesterday and I was completely opposite of this woman. She was like, "Perfection over progress," and I was like, "Oh, should I just jump off
Exactly.
the cliff and figure it out on the way down?" Like, that's my MO. People that listen to multiple podcasts of mine, they're probably sick of hearing this, but that's how I roll.
Yep.
I'm just start, right? Just start. Just that's the only way
Right.
to
I'm
get
totally with
anywhere
you.
is to just start. So, like I I put a course out there called Foster University, and it was a 6-week course to start and build your business. And I hadn't even written week 2, 3, 4, and
Yes.
5 and 6. I only wrote week 1, and I was like, I'm going to do this 6-week course. And I got like 8 people to sign
Better
up
get
for
to
it. And I was like,
work.
shit, now I got to write 5 more weeks of
I've
this.
been there.
Yeah. But that's just yeah, but you know what? It's fun that way. And I'm like an
Me
under
too.
pressure person. Like I work so much better, which is why I have to give myself deadlines. Like for this toolkit, like up until, the night before, I'm like, oh my God, I have a really great idea. And I'm gonna like throw it out there to the universe. And people are like, I thought you're launching tomorrow. I'm like, I am, but it's still a great idea. We're gonna do it. I'm gonna make it happen. So thank God I have some
I
technical
understand.
skills, I have to say.
I'm good like that
Like
too. Like, I give myself a deadline and I know it'll happen. I'm gonna do it. I don't know how much of it'll get done all the way up until a couple days before, but I'm definitely gonna get it done.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. I promise it will get done. So I know that you mentioned that you have this membership. Tell me a little bit what goes
It's
on in
called
the
a
Britney
Small Biz
membership.
Social Society. And yes, it's a tongue twister. And I didn't really think about that until later. And I started hearing people try to say it. And I'm like, oh crap, sorry, y'all. Just like my podcast, Social Sunshine. Like, what is up with all these S's? But the membership, the Small Biz Social Society, is it's really, well, it's a focus on social media, on content creation for social media. um Really, really helpful for people with personal brands. Whenever you are the face of your brand, that's who's going to benefit a whole lot from the membership. And like I said earlier, I wanted to create something where I could help more business owners at once, because client work is limiting. Even growing a team, can we serve more people? Of course, yeah, but it's still not quite the same as you can with group education, teaching, and all that jazz that goes along with that. I mean, I could help 1,000 business owners just the same as I could help 10 in a membership setting, you know? So as a business owner, it made sense for me to do that, and it was
Mhm.
efficient, and I just could see this beautiful vision of it growing to be this awesome group of people, and that's exactly what's happened, and we're gonna keep growing. We have somewhere in between 40 and 50 members right now, and they're so cool. They want to put themselves out there on social media more. They want to step it up, right? And like do the videos, do the cool stuff and the photos and the graphics and the stories and the all the connecting with the audience, and they just need that support and that push, you know. We do trainings. I have a guest speaker every single month.
Mhm.
Um really really cool people that know a lot about online marketing, and we all just kind of join together as this community of entrepreneurs that wants to put ourselves out there in the world, you know, and use social media for it. Yeah, it's really really great. Uh-huh.
That's awesome. And so are they paying a monthly
Yeah, no, they're
fee or are
paying
they
monthly,
paying a
$48 a
yearly
month.
fee?
And my enrollment's opening back up this summer. I haven't officially announced the date yet, but it is opening up in July of 2021 for a short time, because enrollment, as we talked about before we started recording, is it's a lot of work. So we're going to open it up for like 10 days and shuffle everybody in that wants to join, and then cut it off for a little while so that we can really get in there and do the work together.
Awesome. Awesome. So you said you go
I do,
live in
yeah, I
that
do a
group
live training
once a month?
myself, and then I have a guest speaker, one every single month, a new guest speaker every single month with different expertise, right? Like, I mean, I've had my buddy that's a copywriter, I've had a Pinterest expert, I have somebody this month is coming to help with mindset for entrepreneurs, just all kinds of things that they're going to really benefit from, and people that know things that I don't know. You know, I'm there to be the ringleader and to lend my
Mhm.
assistance social media wise, but I also have all these great friends across the world that can come in and be guest speakers, and that's what has been made it extra interesting, is to have we had a TikTok, I call him a TikTok superstar. He's modest. He came in recently and talked about his journey there. It's just been a beautiful experience, you know. All kinds of tools like tutorials, how to do this, how to do
That's
that.
awesome.
So, you know, the education mixed with the community aspect of it is just
That's
oh,
awesome. So I do the same
oh
thing.
cool.
So I have the foster women community. Same thing. Yeah. So we should
Yeah,
talk about
sure.
doing a content swap.
Cool. That's awesome.
That would be
Yeah,
fun.
there's
That'd
just
be
something really
awesome.
special, right?
Yeah,
About
cool.
creating, like, intentionally creating a community.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool when they happen accidentally as well, but when you set out to do that, like, okay, I want to bring people together because they want to do A, B, and C. And then when you start seeing that happen, it's just one of the most fulfilling things ever.
Yeah, I love it. I love my community. I call them my foster women because I feel like possessive over them. Like they're all vetted. They all are amazing women. And the idea behind it was I feel I'm such a networker and a connector. And so I love connecting amazing women who do amazing things with other amazing women who do amazing things and
Right.
letting them help each other and support each other and help each other grow. So it's like, I've got an amazing like website designer that I introduced to all of my women that are looking for websites or revamps or whatever. And so I make a lot of those
Right. Yeah.
marriages. So it's super fun. I love it. It's in Judaism, it's called a shidduch, and maybe I should that's what I could name my
Hey,
group.
you whatever works for you. I love it.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. So I try to keep these to 30 minutes.
Oh my
Anything else you
gosh,
want to
no,
share
I'm
before we
just
wrap it
happy to
up?
have gotten to come and chat with you. I really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, this has been
Yeah,
super
next time, you're
fun.
right. Next time we'll do it with
Absolutely.
wine. But,
Absolutely.
you know, right now it's 10:45 in the morning, so
Absolutely. Yeah, we should
I
just
guess I shouldn't have it
I know.
you know.
It's a little early. A little early, but we should do you know what I wanna do, and we'll talk about this offline. I wanna do a Clubhouse room with all the
Yeah, it'd be
clean
fun.
crafted wine
I'm
people that
down.
are on Clubhouse.
I'll be there.
That'd be super fun. Super fun. All right, we're gonna wrap it up. Thank you so much, Brittany. I appreciate you and your time and all that you do for entrepreneurs, for social media, for entertainment. You probably kept a lot
Hey,
of people sane
I
during the
hope so. Thank you
pandemic.
so
So
much.
with your yeah. So people can follow you. All of your info will be in the show notes. So follow Brittany. She's awesome. She will make you smile. She'll make you laugh, and
Thank
she
you
will
so
give you
much.
great content ideas for your social. Thanks for tuning in. I'm your host, Haley Foster, and I hope you'll join me next time for more inspiring women who are fostering their passions each and every day. Please subscribe wherever you download your podcast and follow us on social media at Fostering 101.